Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. So today we're going to make one of my personal favorites, sausage gravy and biscuits. So the first thing we do is preheat the oven to 425, get it started. And then I have standard Bisquick in here. You can use flour and baking powder and make your own biscuits. The Bisquick's just easier for us. And then I follow the directions as a kind of a guide, but I use real butter instead of the oil. And then I cut that in with a fork into the Bisquick. This is the way I prefer. I am not a big fan of vegetable oil. We use olive oil. Olive oil has flavor to it. Not really what I want in my biscuits. Every once in a while I'll make like a mix in some Italian seasoning into the biscuits if I'm making them for dinner, and maybe some cheese. And that, with that, olive oil works just fine. But I just want to cut in some butter. You can use lard, just about 2 tablespoons to 2 cups. And you just mix it. Okay, until you get that butter well incorporated. You're gonna have little tiny bits and pieces of flour dough in there. But this doesn't count towards working time of the biscuits. So I don't make rolled biscuits or cut biscuits. I actually just make drop biscuits. And I find that to be easier. For the sausage gravy, we're gonna break up the biscuits anyways. And that works just fine. So now that that butter is well incorporated there, there's still a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna build a little well, standard baking practice. Crack 1 egg into it. Okay, and I know I need some milk. I don't measure my milk. I look for a texture over measurement. So I'm just gonna add probably about that much to start. I'm gonna need to add more. And that's probably about 3/4 cup. The directions say a cup and a half. So you're pretty good starting out with half that. You can already tell that's gonna be dry. But we'll just incorporate it in good. And if you were gonna roll out the biscuits, you need your dough or batter to be drier than you would doing it my way. Mine's gonna end up a little bit sticky. Okay, let's add a little more milk. And just go slow until you get the right consistency that you want. That might actually be enough. The texture that you're looking for is that of a sticky dough or a very, very thick pancake batter. And the nice thing about using Bisquick is if you do add just a little too much liquid, it'll you're able to, yeah, that's what we're looking for. You're able to add more flour mixture. Okay, I'm gonna watch that burner. I just heated my water for my coffee on that one, so it's hot still. So you take a spoon or a fork full of the biscuit mix and just think I might have made it a little wet this time. Just drop the biscuits on. There we go. Yeah, I got it a little bit wet this time. It's not too bad. I'd like for it to stand up a little bit higher. That one's not bad. But just drop your biscuits out on your pan. There we go. I mean, it is sticky. Grab a spatula here. I think I probably have one more biscuit in there. Just get that onto the pan. Alright, we can set those aside for now while the oven preheats, and we'll get our sausage gravy going. So I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. So if you watch my other videos, you know that I made breakfast sausage. So we're going to take this, which is just over 3/4 of a pound and under a pound. Breakfast sausage. All right, and I like to use a spoon anytime I brown meat for something that I might serve with a spoon. That way I'm only dirtying one utensil. So we're just gonna take this and start the browning process. The oven's at kind of a medium-high heat. And we're just going to get this to start browning. I like to use cast iron pans a lot, but for things like gravies and spaghetti sauces and things like that, I'm not a fan of using my cast iron. The gravy doesn't strip the seasoning off quite like the tomato sauce does, but it tends to stick and it's very hard to clean. Sort of coats the pan. All right, so our oven's set. All right, I need to move you guys back just a little bit here. I can open my oven. Move you around the side. Get you a decent view. Okay, now we're gonna put these in. And we're gonna start checking them in about 10 minutes. It does stick to the bottom of the pan, so you want to scrape some of that off, mix it in. Another reason I like to use a stainless steel or not a Teflon or a cast iron pan is because scraping on it doesn't do it any good. And just kind of break up the pieces into smaller little pieces here, so you get a nice fine brown sausage. Took a little bit of time for that fat to render into the pan, and now it's not sticking nearly as bad. But as you can see with the homemade sausage using that pork shoulder, there's just a fine layer of fat on the bottom there, or it's keeping it from sticking. It's not a huge amount. There's not a pool of fat in the bottom of my pan. And this is all meat sausage. There's no filler in this or anything like that. It's 100% pork. You can use commercial made sausage too. It works exactly the same. So just keep mixing this until it browns off completely. Now I hope anybody watching is not a huge fan of measurements, because I don't measure. Alright, that's starting to get there. Still a little bit of pink in there. You want to cook this. You want to brown every bit of it. And take a peek at those biscuits. I'm gonna see if I can't. I'm sure this audio with this spoon on this pan is pretty bad. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. Maybe in the editing a little bit. Hopefully it's not that bad. But last time I noticed in my video that the sound of the frying pan was loud. Okay. We're almost there. Now, I have had a lot of people tell me they can't make gravy, which to me is just an odd thing. I grew up on homemade gravy. It's not the hardest thing to do, but here's how it goes. So we have some all-purpose flour right here. This is gravy made simple. We're just going to take some all-purpose flour in a spoon and we're going to coat that sausage. Whoops. Try not to make too much of a mess. All right, now we want to mix that good. And what that'll do is that's gonna pick up some of that fat in the bottom of the pan. And you just want to brown the flour off. So I haven't turned down the heat, still the same heat. The sizzling stopped because the flour has picked up most of the fat. There's still a little bit. And there's a little layer of stuff on the bottom of the pan. That's absolutely normal. And what's going to happen is, in the next step, we'll deglaze the pan. So that flour is now coated the sausage, coated the bottom of the pan, and browned up a little bit. So now we just cover the whole thing in milk. See if that's enough. Maybe a little bit more milk. Okay. And now we just stir this. Not continually, but you want to keep it moving pretty well. I mean, if you stop for a second to put something away, or it's not going to hurt it. Now at this time, you've taken your sausage, which had a good bit of spice and had a good flavor, and you've diluted that with flour and milk. So what I like to do is just add some black pepper. You can add some salt if you like. I'm not a huge fan of salt. Most food has enough salt in it for me, so you won't see me add salt. My kids add salt towards the end. And then we're just going to mix that. A little bit of black pepper will help season. Yeah. I got a feeling on the video that it's going to be a loud noise against that pan. So our biscuits have been in almost 10 minutes. I'm going to take another quick peek. Yeah, they're still going. I'm going to have to flip them. It is the cookie sheet in the bottom of my oven stays hotter than the top. So what I'm going to do, and you're a little bit close still, so back you up a little bit. I leave the oven on. Pull my biscuits. Okay, and we're just gonna flip these over. Hot pan here. Oh, they stuck. They stuck because I got them a little wet. And this is a horrible spatula. We're just bending all over the place. timer. Found us our 10 minutes was up. Let's get these flipped over and back in the oven. Okay, and then just back in the oven to finish browning. All right, so now I saw a couple bubbles in our gravy here, and it's already starting to thicken up some. Once you get to this point where it's, let's see, is it boiling? So there's a very, very low boil there. We're just going to turn that all the way down to a low. And now we just want to stir. And you want to stir it until it becomes as thick as you want. Some people would call this gravy. I like mine a little thicker. Now I didn't reset a timer for those biscuits because I just gonna kind of let them brown a little bit. They were actually done, but not browned on top or golden. So flipping them over, they'll golden up a little bit. But making gravy is just that easy. One thing you do want to know is that if this cools, it's going to thicken some more as it cools down. So right about there, when you can swipe and see the bottom of the pan, a trail left behind, that's probably right about good. Okay, so we're going to turn that off. Take a quick look at our biscuits. Yeah, I think those are about done. Let's go ahead and stop that. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Okay, so there's our drop biscuits. They don't, I noticed, you know, they don't look that great with the stuck on pan there, but I promise you they'll taste wonderful. Bless you. Oh. So the heat's off now, and that's about the right consistency that we're looking for gravy. We're gonna try and slide that over. This oven, the burners stay hot for quite a while after you turn them off. So, all right, so now I'm gonna grab me a plate. And let's set you up so you can see this. All right, just take my biscuit, and it's cooked nice and through. They're very hot. And I like to break my biscuit up. take some sausage gravy. All right, there we go. We got your sausage gravy with biscuits. And I'm gonna eat this while it's hot. I thank you guys for watching. Hope everybody has a wonderful day.